Nehemiah 1 to 5. The year is now 444. This is 13 years after Ezra has come to Israel. Nehemiah himself, he calls himself the king's cupbearer. That means he was in a very influential position in the Persian government. The same word for butler seems to be a position of high rank where you would be tasting the food to make sure it's not poisonous. And those positions tend to be very trusted and potentially very influential. And the book itself is very personal. You hear a lot of Nehemiah's thoughts, actions, reactions, and such. And the book begins actually in 1:3. There's a report brought to Nehemiah. The survivors who are left from the captivity in the province are there, that's in Jerusalem, in great distress and reproach. The wall of Jerusalem is also broken down and its gates are burned with fire, probably referring to the events of Ezra 4. So let's review. Zerubbabel had come to Israel to rebuild the temple. Ezra had come to teach Torah to the people as they are now starting to build their homes around the temple. Nehemiah's role is to repair, is the word, the walls that are around the city of Jerusalem. It wouldn't do much good to have to have a city full of people without walls in the ancient world. So this is a very vital role that Nehemiah will play in the reconstruction of the people of Israel and the city of Jerusalem. So Nehemiah asks the king to go. He's fitted with provisions and even a letter of approval. He comes to the walls then, and it doesn't take much time that he's there. And of course, these walls had been destroyed about 130 years ago in the destruction of Jerusalem. And he goes on a tour of these walls, and the gates that are mentioned, we're not able to know where they are, but words like the Valley Gate, the Fountain Gate, the Sheep Gate, and these gates were very practically named. When you left a gate to go out of the city, the direction you were going, or the city you're going to, or the area you're going to is the name of the gate. So the Valley Gate, you're heading off into the valley, presumably. But here comes Nehemiah's first problem, really, and it's Sanballat, who is a governor of Samaria. There's the Samaritans again coming back to haunt the Jewish project, and Sanballat himself, he's called a governor of Samaria. He will be joined later by the Ammonites and the Ashdodites, two other groups. So there's going to be opposition again against Israelites, Jews, having the presumed presence of their God, again, living among them. That's really what they're against. Nehemiah's reaction to Sanballat is typically Jewish in the sense that he says in 4:5, "Do not cover their iniquity, O God, and do not let their sin be blotted out from before you." So Nehemiah, of course, is troubled by this, and then even problems occur within the city of Jerusalem, where there seems to be starvation going on of a very severe variety. He will eventually, what he'll do is he'll set workers on the wall, both who are carrying a trowel in one hand and a sword in the other. And then eventually he'll have half the group do the work on the walls and the other half of the group defend those who are working on the walls. But in the end, we, of course, we don't have to idealize the work that's done. There does seem to be local problems, and it does take a while. But at the end of chapter 5, we hear that Nehemiah himself is a great and godly man. 5:14, "From the time that I was appointed to be their governor in the land of Judah, for 12 years neither I nor my brothers ate the governor's provisions." In other words, they didn't demand from the people a food supply that would be a heavy burden of taxation. And then 5:19, the last verse of chapter 5, "Remember me, my God, for good, according to all that I have done for this people." So love God and love neighbor. Nehemiah seems to have set off in our book's story, doing them both very well.